Hi besties and welcome to another video on my channel. I have been feeling inspired lately. It's fall, spooky season is here, and I kind of want to work on all the projects. Kind of have a bit of a crafting free-for-all. So today, let's do a bunch of kind of spooky, kind of fall, kind of themed things. Like I want to finish up a couple of things like a sweater and a spooky snake cross-stitch project, a pair of socks, and I have a bunch of stuff I want to start, like the pastel Halloween cross-stitch by Colourfully Sarah that I've been wanting to start for a long time, and I want to make a tote bag, kind of, maybe dye some wool. We'll see. I have a bunch planned, so without further ado, let's get into the project, shall we? Let's go. First up, I'm going to finish my socks. You might recognize these, both because I've recently posted about them on Instagram, but also because I finished the first sock of the pair earlier this year in a 24-hour challenge video. I want to finish this sock today because I really want to get these released in early October, so photos and testing needs to happen ASAP. Spoiler though, as you're watching the video, they have been in testing for a while and we will indeed have a sock release in October. But yeah, this is a really fun pattern, if I may say so myself, with a little bit of texture and my favorite under the foot gusset, and I designed these to match my already existing Broom Rider's mitts. This was a really nice way to start today's crafting whirlwind, as I was already a bit into the sock and just needed to finish it up. Nothing feels as good as finishing a project that has been a long time work in progress, in my opinion. With not much time spent at all, we are at the toe decreases, and that means the sock is very nearly done. All that's left to do is graft the toe with Kitchener stitch, and that's a finished sock! And a finished pair of socks. Nice going, on to the next project. I have been working on this cross-stitch snake for a little bit. I have a space on my wall that I've been saving specifically for a snake embroidery in an oval frame. And now, after 3 years of living here, it's finally happening. What I have left to do on it is just some leaves in this purple colour and then add some backstitching. I put this pattern together quickly a couple of weeks ago to be able to start this project, so let me know if you're interested in this one. It's just 3 colours, but if I am to release this, I want to fine-tune it quite a bit and also redo the backstitching, as that is something I completely freehanded in my piece here. After one evening of work, we have finished the leaves and the backstitching, so this is officially finished. I am so excited. Now I can get it framed and hung on my wall, finally. But let's not waste any time. Let's print and start the next cross-stitch project. With the help of the orange quality control inspector, I am cutting out Tablecloth in the right dimensions and also, of course, putting it into a hoop. I plan on displaying this once it's done in a hoop, so I've picked one out that's the right dimensions according to the pattern. Next, I'll glue the pattern together. There is a smaller version as well, but I printed the entire thing, so now I have the big one, so for an easier time, I'm just going to be using that one. I never thought of actually gluing split up patterns together until I started sewing from printed out patterns. This, for me, is a game changer. But now, with everything prepped and ready, I can start stitching. I'm going to work through the outlines of everything first, and I am starting with all of the stitches in black. Right in the middle of the piece we have a cute little bat. This has honestly been so much fun to work on. I can't believe I kind of forgot how much I love cross-stitch. I used to be really into cross-stitch in my early teens, and then I kind of just stopped crafting. I guess due to different life circumstances. Cross-stitch is something I picked up again for real though in the past year, and even if I've done a small project here and there over the past couple of years, it never really stuck again. But now I've always had a project going for about a year, and it has honestly been so much fun. I may or may not also have a massive stash of patterns I picked up since starting stitching again, so yeah. One thing I think has kept me from actually cross-stitching is me not wanting to use up my floss and either, because in my mind I can't really buy new floss. Earlier in life I could never afford to replenish my stitching supplies. Of course there's budget brands, but it doesn't quite hit the same, especially especially when you follow patterns that have specific DMC or anchor shades picked out. But now I've started to tell myself that just like with yarn for knitting and crochet, if you run out of it, it's okay to buy more. It's okay to get stuff for your hobbies. You are allowed to buy things so you can actually practice your hobbies and interests. And it has of course made a massive difference, and I don't have to stress about what patterns I can maybe stitch from what little I have left from a skein I've owned for 17 or so years. Like, imagine that. Also, pro tip, if you like thrifting, look for supplies there, both kits and loose skeins. I have found so many skeins for dirt cheap since I started really looking, and I often find Aida as well, and 90% of the hoops I use are also thrifted. This has been an even bigger game changer for me, and if you're worried about tiny hitchhikers, just freeze everything you get for a while. Anyway, I managed to get pretty far in my project before wrapping this video up. I have actually done all of the outlines, and now I'll start filling in the motifs. We will have to finish that another day, however, as now we should move on to the next project. I want to make a gorgeous tote bag. I have been wanting to make another crochet tote bag for a while, but like a simple textured one. So today I'll be making a Sunburst square tote bag. It's an easy square with a squishy finish, and I think it will look fabulous in this pumpkin spice looking yarn, so I'm just getting straight into crocheting. I am so excited. This one will be a bit of an experiment in bag shapes, as we will see in a bit, but first let me just quickly show you how to make a sunburst square, in case this influenced you to also want to make a tote bag. If you know how to make a square like this, or just don't want a little tutorial info dump, skip ahead to the next timestamp and we'll pick back up with the project. But here goes, mini tutorial time. In a magic circle, first chain 3. Then double crochet 15 times. After completing the 15 double crochets, yarn over and go into the top of your beginning chain. Pull up a loop. Then yarn over again, go into the same stitch and pull up a second loop. Yarn over a third time, go into the same stitch and pull up a loop one more time. Then yarn over and pull through all of the loops on your needle. Chain 1. Repeat in the next stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over again, pull up another loop. Yarn over again and pull up the last loop. Then yarn over and pull through all of the loops on your hook and chain 1. Repeat this in every stitch. You should have 16 puff stitches at the end of this row. Slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. In the next chain space, chain 3. Yarn over and go into the stitch to pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops as if you were going to do a double crochet. Instead of completing the stitch, yarn over again and pull up another loop. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Do this 2 more times so that you have 5 loops on your hook. Then yarn over and pull through all of the loops on the hook. Chain 2. Make another stitch like this in the next chain space. Yarn over and go into the space to pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull up another loop. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat 2 more times until you have 5 loops on the hook. Then yarn over and pull through all of the loops on the hook and chain 2. Continue like this in every chain space around the circle until you have 16 of these cluster stitches. Slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. For the next row, we will turn this into a square by making stitches of varying heights. Slip stitch in the next stitch until you reach a chain space. In the first chain space, chain 3, then double crochet twice. In the next chain space, place 3 treble crochets and chain 2, and then make 3 more treble crochets in the same space. In the next chain space, place 3 double crochets. Then 3 half double crochets in the next chain space. And then 3 double crochets in the chain space after that. Make another corner in the next chain space by placing 3 treble crochets, chaining 2 and 3 more treble crochets in the same space. Then repeat what we just did until we reach the end of the square. When you've completed your last 3 half double crochets, slip stitch to the top of the starting chain. Depending on your yarn and hook choice, your square might be a perfect size now. I am, however, going to add 1 row of regular granny stitch to mine. Slip stitch until you reach a chain space, then chain 3 in the space. Place 2 double crochets in the same space. Then continue around the square like a normal granny square, placing 3 double crochets in every space until you reach a corner where you make 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets in the same space. Once you reach the end of your square, slip stitch to the top of your starting chain and we're done! Unless you want it bigger, of course, in which case you just continue like we did in this last row. But well done! That's a Sunburst granny square, all done. Now let me finish my pile of squares so we can attach all of them together into a bag. Now, this is where you'll have to watch me make an experiment. Don't follow what I'm doing here. Instead, if you want to make a bag, I have linked my video tutorial and also free written pattern for a 13 square crochet bag down in the description. Please use that guide instead and you'll have a much better result. Don't worry, I end up fixing my bag, but yeah, here's what happened. My husband had an idea for a cute pumpkin shaped bag. My husband also does not crochet, so he maybe doesn't have a grasp on how the fabric will behave. I do crochet, and I do have a grasp on how the fabric will behave, but I also trust my husband's ideas, so I went with what he asked for, which was to skip the square that's normally in the bottom of the bag. Instead, I went with this tapered piece with the hopes of this making kind of, I guess, low polygon pumpkin shape. So I happily started attaching my squares together like I normally do, and like is described in the previously mentioned pattern. And then once I had attached all around it, I added my little strip to the bottom where a square would normally go. And I mean, it's a bag, but it's not where the vision was. I think this would probably work with a bit of a wider strip in the bottom, but yeah, this was not the vibe for me at all. But I wanted to have faith in his idea, so I went on to add the straps. Besides, he needed to see it for himself after work, if for nothing else but a good laugh. The straps I added are the exact same as the pattern I've linked down below as well, and this was honestly such a cozy time. Just a lot of single crochet around the entire bag. Call me weird, but straps might be one of my favorite parts of making crochet bags. But yeah, straps done, it's a bag. But honestly, in the end, we both agreed that it looked kind of stupid and I was kind of over experimenting at this point, so I'll pick the pumpkin idea up again in the future for sure. Maybe with another shape, like octagon or whatever, but for now, I think the orange is pumpkin-y enough, and so I am making a 13th square for my bag. I'm ripping out the bottom joins, basically performing tote bag surgery, and I am adding that new square in where the strip previously was, like a good, normal crochet tote bag. And honestly, it's so much better. I am feeling so relieved. I love it now. I will line this, but now I need a break from the bag, because even if I'm in pretty high spirits talking about it, at the time of making it, I was frustrated and pretty over it. So a break we shall have. And what's a better break than a complete change of scenery? My sister-in-law invited me over for some yarn dyeing, as she had just set up a base solution for indigo dye. This is something we've been talking about for years, so of course I wanted to join. Cheddar and I are going to be picking out some wool to dye, as I don't really have any yarn I need turned blue, but I have several kilograms of wool locks that definitely needs colour. Any colour, really. So I have prepped some bags of wool for me and some for my bestie. So let's go! Like with any dyeing, we did a pre-soak of everything, and then it was time to mix the dye bath. Indigo is so cool because first the base solution is blue, then mixed with various chemicals you don't want to be breathing in, or banana. You can also use banana, but we use chemicals. But still, the dye bath turns this yellowish green, and when the wool first comes out of the bath, it's also bright yellowish green, but as it oxidizes, it turns blue. And honestly, isn't that just magic? It was extra obvious in this linen tablecloth, like, that's such a good colour to begin with. And then it just turns into a gorgeous blue, like, what? But yeah, this was a really fun day and definitely a well-needed break from the tote bag. And look at the results on my wool. The icy blue is such a nice colour, and then the dark wool, OMG, midnight sky, hello, very exciting. But a bag. We have a bag to line and finish. I'm going to start by tracing half of my bag onto paper to make a pattern for my lining. Then I'm grabbing my intended lining fabric. This is a piece of a tablecloth I bought, honestly mostly for the fabric, but also because I wanted it in my kitchen. Lucky for me, I can have both, as we have a pretty small kitchen table and I needed to trim off a pretty big part of the tablecloth for it to fit the table, aka fabric for me to work with. So I am just going to trace my pattern on the fold to then cut it out with a bit of extra seam allowance. Then I pin all of the sides together and sew all along the edges of the bag. Then I place it in the crochet bag, wrong sides together, and pin around the opening. Normally I machine sew the lining to the bag, but I opted for hand sewing this time. And after a cozy moment of slow stitching, we have a finished and lined bag. Isn't that fabric just too cute? I love how it came out, it's adorable. But you know how I mentioned this was part of a tablecloth? I'm going to sidetrack slightly from my projects, as I also need to hem the sides of the tablecloth. You know, where I took off fabric so I could make the lining of the bag. So let me quickly just do that. It went straight in the wash after that, so now let me grab a project bag because bestie, we're gonna finish a sweater. This is the September sweater by Petite Knit and it's been my project to work on in lives for the past month or so. It's full brioche and it's so incredibly squishy, but seeing as September is, as I was filming, coming to a close, I needed this done because of course I did. It's the September sweater, not the September, October, November sweater. So let's get off of Sleeve Island together. I have one sleeve to finish, aka knit the cuff on, and one where I basically need to knit the entire sleeve. And we do actually have a little bit of yarn chicken. Why is this always a thing though? You know you're running out of your yarn, so you start knitting faster, just in case you can knit the sleeve before the yarn decides to run out. I know it doesn't work like that, but it feels better, don't it? But besties, let's do a fit check. Look, it's a sweater. We're at the same point in both sleeves now, and this is as long as the pattern said. I am going to add a few centimeters and then go for the cuffs. I am expecting this to relax and grow quite a bit in blocking, so I won't go overboard with long sleeves. But now let's go on, let's attach the new... No! What? I ordered the same colorway as the original yarn, but this new ball of yarn is completely different. The base color is the same, but it's missing all of the variegation. I have no choice but to use it. Luckily, all I have left to do now is the cuff on both sleeves, so I am hoping it won't be too noticeable. Finally, we can bind off, and for this pattern, I did an Italian bind off for all of my hems. And that is a finished sleeve, and after some more binding off, we have 2 finished sleeves. Yay, party emojis in chat, please, for finished sleeves. I'm going to get it on the blocking mats straight away because OMG, I want to wear this now. One more loose end I also needed to wrap up quickly, kinda like with the tablecloth, was sorting the wool locks. Half of them were for my sister-in-law, so I'm dividing both piles of fluff between the 2 of us, and I am also re-braiding the BFL top so I can store it easier. Nice, all packaged up and ready to be worked with another day. Because you know what just happened? Snails. Snails just happened. Maybe you are unfamiliar with this fact about me, but I am a huge fan of the amigurumi snails by GOURD-GEOUS that went viral last year. I have several videos just about crocheting snails, and I even have one tattooed on me. So when GOURD-GEOUS dropped the testing announcement for the baby version of the snails, I said, hold my beer, snail mode activated. And I had a blast making a couple baby fruit snails for the remainder of the evening. Every time someone asks what a good starting point for amigurumi is, I recommend these snails. They are such a fun little project, and I just love them so much. They tickle my brain in just the right way. The first one I made turned into Apple, the apple snail. Appalling that my first baby snail wasn't a strawbird, but don't worry, he's up next. These baby snails actually release today, so I have of course linked all of the links to GOURD-GEOUS shop and Instagram and YouTube, so you can also go make some snails if you want. The baby pattern has been so much fun. It's fewer stitches and a chunkier shape, so it's a lot quicker than the big snails. And besides, Cheddar approves of them. But yeah, let me just add his little face and some blush, and oh, my babies are done. I am so happy. Now you thought we were done here, but I have one more thing. I want to start today. Now that I have a fall themed tablecloth, I also need some spooky placemats. So I went on Ravelry, as one does, and I found the perfect thing. Boo! Lucky for me, I also just thrifted this white mercerized cotton yarn, which will be perfect for this project. Now, I don't know how big this is going to turn out, if it's going to be more like a little doily or if I can use it as a placemat, but I'm going to start this and work for as long as I can before I absolutely have to stop filming. So let's go. Boo is a free pattern, by the way, and I've of course also linked it below. I don't think I've ever crocheted a doily before, so I'm having a lot of fun with it. But unfortunately, I am now out of time for filming, so we will end this here at about 10 rows in. But hey, we got it started at least. Besties, this has been such a fun time, and OMG, we got so much done. Like, what? First of all, let's address the elephant in the room. The sweater, it is done! It's the September sweater. It is finished. I finished it. The day the video goes up, it's already October, but I finished this in September. I finished this before September ended, so September sweater finished in September. Check. And I love it. It is so fluffy, it is so soft, it is so squishy because of all of the brioche. It grew quite a bit in blocking, which is perfect for the sleeves. They are long, like I like them. I love a good big sweater, and it is the perfect shade of pink. It is my favorite shade of pink. I am so happy. I am relieved that the end of the sleeves being a slightly different shade of pink to this. It didn't really end up being too obvious. Like, I have no complaints about Drops Air in general, like as a yarn. It was very nice to work with, very soft, very good, very nice. But oh my goodness, the dye lots seem to differ a very lot from like batch to batch. So if you ever plan on using this yarn for a project like a sweater or something where you might end up needing more, please buy too much yarn. Make sure you get from the same dye lot, because it seems unreliable. I heard this from people in my server as well on Discord that they have had the same issue. So no complaints about actually using the yarn, but please make sure you get enough yarn when you're gonna work with it. I normally wouldn't encourage massively overbuying anything, but for this yarn in particular, please be aware of this. Don't end up in my predicament. But yeah, it's not too obvious, and it's just in the cuffs, so it's all right. But I would have been pretty annoyed if I had to do like half a sleeve in the other batch. But yeah. Other than that, very happy with the sweater. Anyway, the next thing I want to talk about, speaking of finished projects, it's the Broom Rider sock. And it is done. It is finished. It is written up. The pattern is written up. And it is currently in testing as well, with release in hopefully a week, if everything goes according to plan. Watch this space. I will let you know when it's out. We'll for sure post about it. And who knows? We might even do a Broom Riders knit along. Maybe. I do have the pattern as well. So yeah, this is finished. Watch this space. Very, very excited, and the test knitters have so far made some absolutely beautiful socks in different colours, and I'm over the moon. It's so much fun. It's been so long since I did like a sock pattern or a knitting pattern, and it's just the best. I'm very happy, and I'm so glad we finished these. Very happy, very happy. But moving on, we have another finished thing. I made a bag. I made this bag, and the colour combination, I love it. My husband had an idea that if we removed this bottom square, it would have kind of a pumpkin shape. And I started this project with his idea in mind, but it didn't quite turn out like his sketch, obviously, unfortunately, and it didn't turn out like I wanted. So I ended up turning it into like a regular tote bag, 13 square crocheted bag. But now I love it a lot, and I cannot wait to start wearing this out and about. Honestly, it is very cute with the Sunburst squares. I love it. I do have a free pattern for a 13 square bag. You can find it linked in the corner. I can never remember what corner it is, but I have it linked in the corner. I have it linked in the description. It is both a video and a written pattern. So if you want to make a bag like this one, you can. Just swap the strawberry square in that bag for the Sunburst square, which I did a little guide on in this video, so jump back to that section and just follow the pattern. The written pattern is also free, with the option to pay if you would like to. But yeah, I wanted to make a bag. I wanted to write a fun pumpkin shaped bag pattern to release in October, ready for Halloween, because I wanted to have a crochet pattern out as well as a knitting pattern. But I'll save that idea for another time, because this is, it's not a square of my design. The Sunburst square is an already existing square, and I already have a pattern for this exact construction, so yeah. But anyway, I have this now, and I love it, and I'm excited about it, and it's lined as well. I lined it with this super cute pumpkin fabric, which brings me to my next thing I did, which is currently in the wash, so I cannot show you, but it's this same fabric. I'll quickly mention it because it's like nothing spectacular at all. It's also a bit of a segue, but this lining is from cut off pieces from a tablecloth that I bought that was too big for our kitchen table, so I chopped it off, and now I have a fun fabric to play around with for, like, I don't know, patchwork, quilting, or bag lining or something. So I also after I nicked some fabric off of the tablecloth, I also hemmed the tablecloth. So now I have a nice tablecloth for autumn, for our kitchen. But segue. If you have a tablecloth on your kitchen table, you might want to add some placemats. And so I found this free pattern on Ravelry called Boo. A boo. And while I didn't finish a set of placemats before I had to wrap up filming for this video, I have progress. I started this today, a couple of hours ago, and I didn't have time to finish. It's a start. It's a start to the Boo. It's a tablecloth, but like a tiny doily kind of tablecloth thingy, but we're gonna have them as placemats for Halloween. And this is my progress. But it honestly works up really fast, so I'll be done in no time. They are very cute, and they will be a perfect spooky season addition to the kitchen, and I'm very happy and I'm very excited. And to be fair, this video was all about finishing and starting things, so it's all right that it's just a whip. But speaking of spooky, I also finished and framed this cross stitch. Yay! I made this pattern actually, and I think it maybe needs some fine tuning. It's not perfect, but I made it. And it was a pretty quick project with just these three colors, the purple and the cream, whatever, and black floss. There is a very tiny amount of black floss in there as well. Very quick, just three colors. This can now go on the wall where I have paintings of spooky-ish things, where I have been intending on putting this specific frame that I bought with the intention of embroidering a snake and hanging this specific spot on the wall. And now I can finally do it. I've been thinking about this since we moved in here like 3 years ago, and I'm very happy that it's finally happening. We did it, everyone. So yeah, I'm very happy. It's finished, and it's kind of spooky and it's kind of cute, and I like snakes, so I'm very happy with that. But speaking of cross stitch, we can't finish a cross stitch without starting a new one straight away, of course. So I started the Pastel Halloween cross stitch by Colourfully Sarah, and I am so excited. I have been wanting to start this for a really long time, well, since she released it like in mid-August, but since then I've been wanting to start it, and I bought the pattern kind of straight away, and it's been sitting waiting for me to have space in my whip roster for it, and now I did. So I started it and I'm very excited, and we are zooming along in it, and it's very fun. I'm well on my way and I'm super enjoying working on it. It is so cute, and I love how this year like pink Halloween things are a thing, because all of a sudden I'm like more excited about Halloween than I have been in years. But yeah, I love it. I've started filling in all of the outlines, so now we are working through all of the white, and yeah, it's turning out really cute. But anyway, something that's not at all Halloween related, but a perfect early autumn project was dyeing some yarn and wool with indigo. It was a really magical process. You saw all of the clips. Seeing the things we dyed turn from this like bright yellowy green to blue once it oxidizes, it was so cool. So dang cool. But yeah, what did I get out of a dyeing session? I have these. My sister-in-law dyed a lot more things than I did, but we have this braid of BFL, which is 100 grams, and it's looking like a cloudy sky. We have, this is Leicester as well. So this is like 220 grams, something like that. And we also have 220-ish grams of Finool lamb's wool. So excited! I cannot wait. I cannot wait to spin these two, like card them up, make little rolags or bats or whatever I'll make, and then just spin them. I'm so excited to work with these. I'm of course excited to spin the braid as well, but I'm more excited about these because I get to do all of the prep myself. So it's going to be so much fun. I'll for sure film it when I do, because that's what I do. But yeah, it's also definitely not the last time we dyed stuff with indigo. So I'm super excited that we got to do this. So thank you to my sister-in-law for initiating and kickstarting that project. I'm very happy with that. But yeah, that's something that happened in this video. It is kind of spooky season-y because it felt like magic. It felt like playing around with a witch's brew or something. But yeah, anyway, well, firstly, there is one more thing we worked on in this video, and that is snails. Garden Hoe Crochet's wonderful, beautiful snails that I love so very much. They have a very, very big place in my heart. There is a new pattern out today, with a baby version of all of the snails, not all of them, but a baby version of the snails, the fruit snails specifically, and I have been testing the patterns. So we have a couple of cute snail babos here. We have Apple, the baby apple snail. He's bright green because he's an unripe apple. And we have my one true love, Strawbert baby. Strawbert, I love him so much. I have an extra snail body as well here that I haven't decided who it's going to become yet, but it might be Lamonti. We'll see. I have been enjoying the heck out of this. I am literally so happy I got to make some snails again. It's been so long, and the babies are really quick to make as well. They are fewer stitches and smaller than the big snails, obviously, because they are babies, and I love them. I can definitely recommend having a look at the pattern. So I have added all of Gardener Crochet's links in the description, of course, so if you want to check out the pattern or her Instagram or anything like that, you can do that. And if you want to watch more snails, I have a bunch of videos dedicated to the snails, so I'll link that as well. And let me know if you want another video just about the snails, and I will happily oblige. But OMG, that is a lot of talking. That is a very lot of talking. That's what happens, I guess, when you work on literally a million projects. The desk is covered in stuff right now. It is kind of stressing me out, and I want to tidy it up and get back to working on my boo. But yeah, I have a question, or a couple actually. What was your favorite project today that we worked on? Or is there something you wish I would have worked on today? Or have you made any of these projects? Did you test snails, or did you make any snails at some point? Tell me what you worked on whilst watching the video today. Let me know in a comment down below. And if you're not feeling chatty, that is totally okay. Of course, as always, go ahead and leave some spooky emojis or fall emojis or snails. We love a snail train in the comments. Let's get a snail train going in the comments again. But yeah, I'll emoji back at you if you leave emojis, so go ahead and do that if you feel like it. And while you are down in the comments, please also take a tiny second to like the video if you liked it, as that helps me out a ton. Thank you. Also, if you are new here, hi, hello and welcome. I am so very happy to see you here today, and I hope you are doing so well. If you're new here and you would like to keep seeing what I get up to in the future with my videos here on the channel, please consider subscribing and also ring the bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. I post all kinds of fun stuff on here, like knit and crochet challenges, project videos like this one, cozy vlogs, and I'm also live once a week on Mondays for a really cozy crochet or knit or like crafting hangout where we sit and craft together and chat and have a really good time. So if that sounds like something for you, please feel free to stick around and join the little cozy crafting club we have going here on the channel. I also have a second channel where I post cozy gaming content like Animal Crossing and Hello Kitty Island Adventure, and I'm also live on there on Wednesdays. Usually we play Animal Crossing or Hello Kitty, but mostly Animal Crossing right now. Right now we are looking for a villager, and it's good fun. It's really good fun. So if you like cozy gaming, please also check out that. You can find that as well as all of my links in the description, and among those links are Ravelry and Ko-fi, where I have patterns and freebies and stuff. We also have memberships on the channel if you want to leave some extra support, as well as a Discord channel. Everything linked in the description, so please go and check that out if any of that sounds interesting. But that's even more talking from me. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Your ears are like falling off now. I'm gonna let you go and enjoy the rest of your day. So thank you all so very much for being here today, for watching and for hanging out with me for all of these crafty endeavors. I had such a good time, and I hope you enjoyed watching today. So you have a great time now. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you again very soon in my next video. Bye!